Hey everybody, we're Cyd and Matt. In this part of the trip, we will be traveling back through France as we make our way to the Netherlands. We will spend some time in western France, picking up our first visitor and seeing some iconic places along the way. If you watched the last video, we have just left the region of Rioja in Spain. As we drive around the Pyrenees Mountains, we're making a stop in one of our favorite places, Basque.
We're gonna have a view out the big old window here.
We're back in Mundaka. So good to be back in Basque country, huh? Cloudy today. We got sun last time.
Last time we were here, you could even see the waves on that side. That's a good one. Just a little roller.
Matt got to enjoy one of his favorite waves, this time in the middle of winter. The crowds were gone, the weather was more moody, and the coast felt a bit more wild. As the weather turned, we drove to San Sebastian for dinner. How could we not, when some of the best food we've had was here? Good to be back, huh?
Good to be back.
We're in San Sebastian round 2. We got here for sunset. Have a look. I'm so excited to eat that pork again. Back at our favorite place.
Back at our favorite place.
Getting this one.
Alright, round 1. That looks so good. Wow. It's got like a cauliflower puree underneath. We have literally driven across Spain for this.
We got a large.
Oh yeah. This is it. First time, new place.
Excited.
Yeah. That's good. Bodega got a studio.
After a few pinchos, we crossed over into France.
We're about to enter France again. 1 kilometer. Back in France. It's official. Frenchman.
Matt, of course, jumped straight back into the water within 30 minutes of crossing the border at a well-known point break on the French Basque. Good morning. I look crazy right now. We were actually woken up by like flashing lights outside of our van this morning. So we got up super fast and we were like, oh my gosh, it's a tow truck. It was just a garbage truck. But now we're on a walk with some coffee and
Have a look at the waves.
yeah. The swell's really big right now. Basically through all of Europe.
Well, peaked last night, and we got some decent waves yesterday. Then today it's meant to be a bit bigger. So.
Yeah, so I've just been on film duty, chill duty. Look how gorgeous it is.
Solid. Surf check with Cyd. What's the conditions like today?
Pretty big. We watched the waves as the swell filled in and the wind started to settle. Matt was keen to give it a go. Feeling a little exhausted and excited to see parts of France we have not been before, we drove to Landes on the west coast of France, a surreal place of endless pine forests right on the beach. We spent a few days here keeping warm by the fire, going on runs through the forest.
Get to run through this? It's amazing!
And having a few little surfs.
Everything done on the wood burner this morning.
Full breakfast this morning.
We got our bread toasted, our coffee made, all on the wood burner. Good morning. I had a really good night last night. Matt met a guy named Pierre in the surf, and Pierre and Matt just went for a surf. We had breakfast this morning. We had him over for dinner, and he brought us all these French appetizers or aperols, and it was really fun. It was really nice to have another person in the van and kind of test out what it's going to be like when Sam's here, which we pick her up tomorrow night.
Feeling refreshed, we drove to Bordeaux, first to clean up the van and get some supplies ready for our first visitor.
Oh yeah, baby. Get that thing clean!
It's Wanda's first bath! Getting her clean for Stuffy, her first visitor.
We picked up our friend Sam from Bordeaux. She had a few days left in Europe and came for a few nights in the van. We spent the night walking around the city, had a drink, and retired to a first night with 3 in the van.
Bye. So we're sitting in the front of the car.
Yeah.
So
Steppy needs her privacy.
Sam's using the toilet for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she'll do okay?
Yeah. It's so simple. It's just like using the toilet. Early morning, we're going to start driving through the countryside. We go look at some castles and whatnot. So we're leaving Bordeaux today. We're going to drive through the Loire Valley, if I said that right, on the way to Paris. And we've just picked up Sydney's good friend from Hawaii, Steppy. And yeah, first night sleeping 3 people in the van. Now we're gonna make breakfast.
How'd you sleep?
So good.
So, into the bottle.
Okay.
Hold it where your pee hole is, like, in this area at the back.
Yeah.
And then don't pee too fast, because
Is that leftover pee?
yeah, you gotta commit.
Wait, why can't I pee too fast?
Now Sam was familiar and comfortable with living in a van. Our drive through France took us through the Loire Valley, sightseeing chateaus, passing through small towns, having cozy nights eating good vegetarian food, and squeezing 3 into the bed. Our favorite stop was the Palace of Versailles. The gardens and galleries were so large and luxurious. Its hallways full of chandeliers, jewels, artworks, and French history blew us away. This was also our last stop where we said goodbye to Sam, as she was flying back to California.
Off to Paris! We just dropped Sam off and drove to our campsite in Paris, and it turns out that we need our booster from starting 2 days ago. So they're not letting us stay here, but we've convinced them to let us at least park here because we are in a zone where we can't drive until 8 p.m. So we are parking here and going to just ride our bikes into the city until then.
We probably just won't be able to go to the Louvre.
Yeah, we won't be able to go to the Louvre. Probably. I mean, we could see, but we'll figure it out.
We rode our bikes into Paris, grateful for finding a place to park and seeing what we could do in the city as the laws in France had just changed. Paris is a big and beautiful city. Every corner we turned was another spectacular building, monument, or terrace cafe. We people watched, hung out in the plazas, rode our bikes along the River Seine. Feeling a bit silly we didn't get our booster shot earlier, but thought we should try to see if we could get a ticket to the Louvre with restrictions in place.
We just were asking the security guard if our COVID certifications were okay, because we got denied to our camping spot this morning, and he's like, you know what, yes, like you need it, but I'll just let you in, buy the tickets online. So we're like, okay. So we started buying the tickets, and then he was like, oh, no, stop. And then he just opened the door and like just let us in to the Louvre for free.
The Louvre was incredible. We were so impressed with the amount of things to see. Roman and Greek sculptures alongside some of the world's most recognizable paintings.
What do you think?
Kind of into the no eyebrows vibe.
Wow.
Nearing the end of our busy and packed day in Paris, we went to pick up some famous treats, ride to the Eiffel Tower, and enjoy the sunset.
You know what song we should have in the background? The one's
What?
like... You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
All right.
Caramel coconut. That's really good.
Really?
That's really good. So we made it to Paris today.
Mm-hmm.
Got super expensive macaroons.
Yep.
Bottle of wine.
Super expensive.
$5.50.
Yeah.
And we bought the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Paris was a great conclusion to all the time we have spent in France. From our first visit, traveling through wine country to the Alps, then the south of France, and all through the Pyrenees Mountains. France is filled with so many things to do and has been our favorite country for exploring in a van so far. Join us next as we travel to the Netherlands and Belgium, where we visit friends, explore cities, try foods, and soak up the last bite of Europe before our next adventure, the UK and Ireland. Thanks for watching, lots more coming soon.